the KZ750R1, 1982 GPZ 750. This project's moved a little slower, recovering from this pneumonia, and I can only work, I don't know, 25-30 minutes at a time, take a break for a few hours, and sometimes that break turns into a day or two. So we're just kind of plunking along, but we made some progress that you guys have watched. All the painted parts are off. We've had a chance to look at everything structurally about the bike, just metals, integrity, aesthetics, lack of corrosion, yada yada. Real happy there. So today we're finally going to get into these engine internals, which I would have liked to have done earlier, but we're here finally. We'll borescope today. First time using this borescope camera, but we will definitely see the cylinder walls and piston heads for sure. Depending on this camera setup, I'm hoping to see my valves today as well. But we'll get an eye on carbon buildup and look for cross hatching and just pay attention to what we got on internals. Crossing our fingers, hoping not to see smooth and shiny. We want to see some good working cylinders in there, nice and tight. And we'll quickly compression test while we're there. The good folks at O'Reilly Auto Parts were kind enough to lend us a compression tester for a couple days so that we don't have to buy that. And we're going to get in here shortly. We're working with a 40-year-old engine here that's been parked the last 10 or 12 years in a garage, and she's been cleaning up, dusted off a little bit here and there, but still, we don't want to crack these plugs without getting serious about doing some cleaning. So before we take these spark plugs out, we're going to use our shop vac with a micro tool to get in and get this area agitated and clean. After agitating with a brush and hitting with a shop vac, we will come back with some air here and just make sure we finish getting all debris away from these spark plug holes before we open. I was getting so excited there by those compression results that I forgot to click record on the fourth one. So you saw 3 cylinders, but we finished all 4, and results were 148 to 152 psi, only a 4 psi separation across the 4 cylinders. So spec on this motor is 124 to 191 and 14 psi separation allowed. So we're right in the heart of that spec range, 148, 152, and we got really tight psi. So turns out that rider feel on the engine was pretty accurate. We got gauges now behind that rider feel, and the gauges are saying the same thing the rider feel said, which is, nice tight engine, good compression. So we'll go to the next step here. We will borescope. Okay, compression testing done. Time to jump into a borescope. Call them endoscopes if it's medical, borescope if it's mechanical. Nidage is the brand I have off Amazon. Okay, here we go down the hole into cylinder 1, and we see the carbon buildup there on this piston head. I'll call that moderate carbon. We see a little bit of carbon edge at the top of the combustion chamber, so we know we got some carbon up there as well. All right, here we are dropping down the hole into 2. I'm going to call this moderate. Again, on carbon. Not horrible. Don't love it. All right. We're back on 3. And I'm going gonna call this moderate again. You know, looks like we're even a little thicker right in the middle of the piston. Maybe a little cleaner around the edges. Here we are dropping down into cylinder 4, piston number 4. Arguably the cleanest, but honestly, I feel like they're all pretty even. I feel like if there was anything different we saw that 1 and 2 were a little dry, and 3 and 4 seem to not be as dry. I can't really wrap my mind around that at the moment. Maybe I will as I think about it. So we've been through this motorcycle pretty thoroughly now, and what do we know about this 40-year-old bike that we didn't know on the day we test drove it? I think the best news is we know exactly what we thought we knew the day we test drove it. We basically just confirmed our gut. So rider's impression: strong engine, good shape, good compression. Bike's ready to go to maintenance. A good logical hunch. A bike that's been this gently cared for 40 years. You could hunch it was gently ridden. Gently ridden motorcycles build up carbon. A motorcycle likes to breathe, likes to run, likes to get hot, likes to burn, likes to get that carbon out of there. So if you're a gentle rider, you will actually have some carbon issues down the road a little bit earlier than folks that get on it now and then. Folks that get on it too much have valve issues, ring issues. Goldilocks. We've struck the middle right here, and this bike's in some good shape. It doesn't have a horrible carbon deposits. We can get that carbon out of there. I think we'll get the carbon out of there without opening it up. We use a couple products. We'll do that in a different video. And using some trickery, mirrors, thread, whatnot. I've seen enough of the valve situation in the combustion chamber that I don't think we have any issues with valves. We don't have any issues with rings. We've got great compression. Yeah. This bike, we'll do a valve check, valve adjustment, and we'll get that carbon out of there. And then I think this bike is just going on a maintenance schedule. Earlier in this series of videos, I said for a season or 2. No, I think she's just going on a maintenance schedule. 17,000 miles, and we'll put her on a maintenance schedule. And we might not rebuild this bike till 50, 75, 80, 100. Who knows, man? These KZ750 airheads, these motors could take some miles. So feeling pretty good about the whole situation right now.